Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into one of the most emotionally charged and politically complex debates in South Africa's recent history, Jacob Zuma's immigration policies during his presidency, and the heated backlash surrounding the Zimbabwean, Angolan, and Lesotho exemption permits. This issue has resurfaced on social media and political forums, with many South Africans asking a hard question: did Zuma's policies contribute to the country's worsening unemployment crisis by prioritizing foreign nationals? Let's unpack the truth behind the claims, challenge some of the assumptions, and dig deep into what really happened under Zuma's administration. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on South African politics. Let's get into it. In 2009, just as Jacob Zuma stepped into the union buildings as president, the Zimbabwean exemption permit program was introduced. It was a humanitarian response to a crisis that had seen thousands of Zimbabweans flee to South Africa due to political repression and economic collapse under Robert Mugabe's regime. The idea was to regularize their presence, offer temporary work and residence permits, and ease pressure on the asylum system. It sounded noble, even necessary at the time. But over the years, this decision has come under serious fire. Critics argue that the influx of foreign nationals, protected under these exemptions, added pressure to South Africa's already strained job market, especially in low-skilled sectors. And many South Africans, particularly young black workers, felt they were being left behind. As of 2009, the unemployment rate was already high, around 24%. It's since climbed even higher, leading many to point fingers back at Zuma's immigration approach. What sparked recent online outrage is the claim that Zuma personally created not only the Zimbabwean permit but also exemption policies for Angolan and Lesotho nationals in that same year. But here's where the facts start to get blurry. The Angolan special dispensation wasn't implemented in 2009. It was formalized in 2013, even though the groundwork was laid much earlier, under President Thabo Mbeki, shortly after the end of Angola's civil war in 2002. Similarly, the Lesotho special permit came even later, in 2016. While Zuma was in office during both policy rollouts, the idea that he personally initiated all three permits in 2009 is a distortion of the timeline. Still, this doesn't fully absolve Zuma's administration. His government certainly expanded these special exemptions and shaped how South Africa engaged with regional migration. And many believe these decisions, while rooted in humanitarian values, failed to prioritize local economic realities, especially for the unemployed black majority. But to be fair, Zuma's government argued that by regularizing undocumented migrants, it reduced exploitation, human trafficking, and crime. Legalized foreign workers could pay taxes and be monitored. Businesses could no longer exploit illegal labor in secret. It was a strategy of control, but also of compassion. Yet the resentment hasn't gone away. Many South Africans still feel that their own government did more to protect outsiders than its own citizens. Zuma's populist brand of politics, filled with powerful speeches and promises of radical economic transformation, painted him as a champion of the black working class. But in practice, many felt betrayed. How do you preach empowerment while failing to create jobs? How do you speak for the people, while letting foreign nationals take up space in a fragile economy? This contradiction is at the heart of Zuma's legacy. It's worth asking, did the exemption permits directly worsen unemployment? Economists argue that it's far more complicated than that. Structural issues in the economy, a mismatch between skills and available jobs, weak industrial growth, and systemic corruption, played a far larger role in South Africa's economic stagnation. Foreign nationals, many of whom take informal or underpaid jobs, are not the sole or even primary cause of job scarcity. But public perception doesn't always align with data. And that's what matters politically. In the eyes of many struggling South Africans, especially those in townships and rural areas, the presence of foreign workers is more visible than the abstract failures of economic policy. The result? A growing tide of anti-immigrant sentiment, and a demand for accountability, with Zuma's name at the center. Let's not forget, Zuma's presidency wasn't just defined by immigration. It was also defined by state capture, corruption allegations, and deep divisions within the ANC. The exemption permits may seem like a small part of the puzzle, but they reflect a larger truth. Zuma's government was often torn between idealistic policies and political survival. Now, as we reflect on this era, we must ask ourselves, what kind of nation do we want to be? A country that honors Pan-African solidarity, or one that puts its own first, even if it means turning away those in need? Can we strike a balance? The debate over exemption permits isn't just about numbers or jobs. It's about identity, history, and how South Africa sees itself in the region. Zuma's legacy in this space is messy, emotional, and unresolved. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Were Zuma's immigration policies a necessary humanitarian step, or did they deepen the crisis for locals? And should future governments roll back these permits, or honor them as part of South Africa's role in Africa? If you enjoyed this breakdown, please give the video a like, subscribe for more political deep dives, and share this with friends who want to understand what's really going on behind the headlines. See you next time.